sir. Yes, ma'am.
There was an interesting editorial in the Tribune the last week or so about Buffett and Gates setting up this foundation to encourage high school students to learn to play bridge. And I don't know how successful that's going to be. I'd be curious about your thoughts about that. Or are there other games or sports that you think help people develop a mind or a spirit to be a successful entrepreneur?
What a great question.
Yeah, well, I totally believe it. My big game is baseball. I mean, I like all sports. The sports metaphor of baseball, to me, fits life because you somehow have to get to first base. Now, there's many ways to get there. You can be abused by the pitcher and get nailed with a pitch. You can get a walk because the pitcher can't find the plate. Or you can get a hit. Or a person can make an error, but you can't steal first base. But all the other bases in baseball, you can steal. It's legal. And you read about it in the paper. And they go to great efforts to steal signs. They study. You know, because in giving signs in baseball, if you watch the coaches, they basically start out with a rule, the left side doesn't mean anything. So any signal like this, it may be our bunt signal, it may be our hit behind the runner signal. It may be wait for a walk signal. But if it's on the west side, forget it. Now the other guys don't know that. They know your bunt signal, hit and run signal, but they don't know that this side is meaningless and this is where all the action is. So that's the basic of signals in baseball. And so you know, it's permissible in baseball to fake. It's like life. I mean, if you got a guy on second and a line drive goes near you and it sounds like you might have a chance, you can go like that and he thinks you got the ball and he heads back to second and gives up and next thing you know you can tag him out. So you can fake it or feign it, as they say. Or you can go like that, the runner's not looking, he thinks you got the ball and he just stops playing. So faking in life is done. You have to always be buyer beware. So in baseball, it's stealer beware. So you have those kind of things that are part of the game. I think that's why they fit life. I think that the computer games now that youngsters play, you can see different approaches by different youngsters. I know that he has two boys, and the younger one is a computer person in music production, and he would tackle a computer game, and he would go from here to here in solving the game. His younger brother, who was a jock, more or less, but you know, bright kid, but when he did the same game, he would go from there to 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 there, you know. And his older brother would be astonished. He said, "Did you know John had to go through every one of those trial and error steps to solve that problem?" But he did. You know, it's like a simultaneous equation. You can know the formula and solve the equation right away, or you could add and subtract, keep the equation and do it manually. So I think that I was talking to our investment managers the other day. We have a program that we engaged at Cristo Rey High School in Chicago, out in the highly Mexican neighborhood, where this is a career education high school where the businesses employ one of their students one day a week. And they like the businesses to have 5 different students, whether they're law firms or retail or wholesale, doesn't make any difference, or nonprofits, whatever. And then what they do, they pay $5,000 a semester for the students that they have. But the student signs that money over to the school to pay for their tuition. And I think it's a great idea, although some days I think they should be working 4 days and going to school 1 day rather than working and going to school 4. But the investment manager was talking about hiring some of those students, and he was asking us about it. My own thought, well, in the investment management business, is Jack be nimble these days, Jack be quick. You know, hedge funds, market funds, short and long positions, alternative investments. That's a quick game. That's not something for me to be doing anymore. But on the other hand, if I were to look at the abilities, I would look at card players. You know, let's say, were you playing cards in 6th grade? Were you good at it? If you were in sports, did you figure up your earned run average, your batting average, your fielding percentage, and could you do it in your head? I mean, that was a great advantage I had, because I used to do fantasy baseball before it was in style. I'm talking about the 30s with a jackknife, and I'd flip it. I kept a record of my players and the teams with my favorite colors, and of course the favorites always won. But I calculated after every game the home run average and the batting averages and so forth, and had a whole season doing it. But we didn't have computers, we didn't have any machine, so I did it all in my head. And then I got so, because it was quicker if I just did it upside down, I got so I could add numbers upside down. I could do arithmetic upside down. It really helped me in later life. It also embarrassed me. At one time I was negotiating a contract with a guy down in Florida, and I was adding up his figures as he was writing them down. Of course, they were upside down. And I didn't realize that he observed that. And so he picked his head up and he was watching me, and then I finished doing the addition, and I picked my head up and he oh, he caught me. But in any event, but I think that's the quickness in youngsters today with the computers is, and I think that's how I've been researched and proven, that the quickness of youngsters that use computers, whether it be dexterity in their thumbs, the thumb generation, or whether it's math, arithmetic skills. And I sometimes wonder, if we don't concern ourselves with the math problem in our students on the wrong basis. In other words, I think of math as being relative to things. This is increasing, this is decreasing. Line graphs, I mean, that's what I would show a youngster, is a line graph, and tell me, what does that mean? What does this mean compared to that? How quick they would pick that up, regardless of what the graph was about. On the other hand, there are some youngsters that go through 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4. And sometimes you want the person who comes up with 2 and 2 is 6. Or better yet, you want the person to say, when you say to them, what's 2 and 2, you say, what do you want?
Is that an accountant?
No, it's an entrepreneurial accountant.
We have to rise above our principles.